1. The mangaka we all know and love, the creator of legendary series like One Punch Man, Mob Psycho 100, Versus, and various others. He's known for his incredibly unique writing that bridges action, comedy, and beautifully written characters that sway us like no other mangaka has. Now, One has never been known to make the most normal manga. In fact, most of his manga pushes the norm, and it's all very, very far from the ordinary. And as someone who's seen Mob Psycho 100 and One Punch Man, you'd probably think, how does it get any crazier? How does it get any funnier than this? And that's where Bug Ego comes in. Bug Ego is a monthly manga published in 2023, and it's an ongoing series with only around 12 chapters at the time of recording this. What I think makes Bug Ego special is the balance between supernatural horror and comedy. Essentially, it's about a high school transfer student named Makoto Hitsujiya who meets and befriends Takehiro Kokodo, a short boy who has some problems going to the bathroom due to the bullies and the delinquents that like to hang out there. Hitsujiya decides to help Kokodo out by showing him this life hack of just going to the faculty bathroom where no one is. Kind of like that one true TV series from 2015 called Hack My Life, with just a bunch of life hacks that are showcased, or maybe like 5-minute crafts. But in return, Kokodo shows Hitsujiya real life hacks, which are, I would say, more akin to bugs or glitches in the real world, kind of like a bug or a glitch in a video game. And I suppose that's why it's called Bug Ego, because of like bugs or glitches. But anyways, these hacks are things such as like inserting a coin into a vending machine and having bird poop spawn in the exact same spot every time, a cicada shell that can never fall apart, or even an umbrella that respawns if you throw it in a bush, and random things like that. And from that point on, the story just gets even crazier. The characters keep doing insane hacks, and in the same chapter, the very first chapter of the story, Hitsujiya attempts to pass his test by using a hack to travel back in time after taking that test, so he can remember all the answers and get them all correct. However, Kokudo tells Hitsujiya the way to activate this hack and actually successfully go back in time is to dance behind the school completely naked while a solar eclipse is happening. And as you can assume, Hitsujiya messes up the dance. And he does not go back in time at all. He doesn't ace his test. The only thing that happens is he gets kicked out of school. Then 40 years go by, and he becomes homeless. And while digging for trash in an alleyway, Hitsujiya spots Kokudo, who explains that he never tried to trick Hitsujiya. He just didn't help him at the time because he didn't want the hacks from the notebook he found to spread, and he still wanted to be friends with Hitsujiya. So he explains that there's a way to actually fix all of this, that there's going to be another solar eclipse, and all Hitsujiya has to do is to go dance behind the school fully naked again. Which he does, perfectly, and everything goes back to normal. And the craziness doesn't even stop there. For example, in the third chapter, Hitsujiya pretends to be a vacuum cleaner because for whatever weird reason, him pretending to be a vacuum cleaner is a hack that allows every dropped item in the room to return back to its original owner. And Hitsujiya essentially uses this hack to free his mind from a creepy wooden doll because it got locked in there. And then his mind surfs on a piece of shit back to his body. Yes, you heard that correctly. His mind surfs on a piece of shit back to his body. Despite all the craziness and wackiness in Bug Ego, there's also a lot of wholesome, sweet moments of just pure friendship between Hitsuji and Kokudo. There are many times while reading this manga that I caught myself with a smile on my face from just seeing the two do stupid, wacky things together, and it kind of makes you reminisce on the bonding and funny moments shared between one's previous characters like Genos and Saitama, or Mob and Reagan. All this really goes to show is how well one is at writing friendship. There's been no other mangaka whose portrayals of friendship moved me just as much as one's have. I think one of my favorite moments of friendship in Bug Ego is when Kokudo apologizes to Hitsujiya for dragging him into the world of hacking, and Hitsujiya pretends to be mad at Kokudo, putting him in a headlock. Only for just a couple seconds later, he reveals that he was joking with him and that he loves the hacks and the experience he's gained by doing them with Kokudo. Then we see a couple pages later in the same chapter, both of them on the swings together, and that's when Hitsujiya confesses that if they want to research the hacks and explore them, they have to do it together, as a team, never alone. Another thing I want to bring up about Bug Ego is the art, which is just out of this world, and it's insane. It should be to no one's surprise that one got an incredible artist to work on Bug Ego, because seen with some of his previous series, he also got amazing artists to illustrate them. For example, Murata on One Punch Man or Azuma Kyotaro on Versus. However, for Bug Ego, one partnered up with the illustrator Shitara Kyoto, who hasn't worked on much manga in the past. In fact, this is the first manga I've ever read that's actually been illustrated by him. But I'd be lying if I said he wasn't the perfect fit to draw this manga. His artwork portrays the messages and the themes of Bug Ego so well, and the way his art encapsulates the supernatural horror and the comedic reactions and silly moments just makes the manga that much better. Overall, I really enjoyed Bug Ego, but seeing as this manga only has 12 chapters, there's not a whole bunch to cover about it. However, I think One is doing an incredible job so far with this manga, as it brings me back to when I watched Mob Psycho 100 and saw the wacky yet serious themes and tropes that play out in the story. I think if I were to closely relate Bug Ego with another series, it would be Dandadan, as they both have over-the-top comedy and they both dive into themes of the supernatural. They're both manga where you could see the characters doing these stupid, funny moments in their day-to-day life, and then the very next chapter, you'd see a hellspawn of cosmic horror that makes you wonder, what the hell is even going on? I think if I were to give a rating on Bug Ego, just from my personal experience with it, I would give it a solid 8 out of 10, purely because it was one series that I just had a good time with when reading it. I could easily see this becoming one of my favorite manga series in the future when there's more than just a handful of chapters. And I would totally recommend this series to anyone who's just looking for a good laugh. But this is where I must conclude the video. Thank you so much for watching, as this is actually my first YouTube video on this channel. Any feedback would be much appreciated, as well as any recommendations for future videos like manga I could read and review. But yeah, that's pretty much it. See ya.